Hey everybody, welcome to my new YouTube channel, Bass Guitar Fundamentals. I'm really excited to start this channel. I'm also kind of nervous because, this is kind of new for me. But I've been teaching bass guitar for like 15 years now, just at local music stores here in Augusta, Georgia, which is where I live. And I often get students who come in and they have fallen in love with the bass, or at least they're very curious about the bass, and they have really no idea where to start, but they just know they like the instrument. And I keep seeing this pattern over and over again. I mean, obviously you're teaching lessons around, and people come and they say, well, I like the bass, I want to take bass lessons, but I don't really know what to do. Well, I've come up with a lot of just basic exercises and practices and philosophies over the years that I kind of thought it would be good to share these. When you're first starting out on the bass, one of the things that I really value just trying to get people to start playing. I'm not really big on trying to show you exactly how you should hold your hand, exactly how you should hold the bass, and all these very particular pedagogical kind of things that you should do. I want to say that I do think those things are very important, and I think that there is a very important space for that kind of thought. But we fall in love with the bass, I think, at least I did, because of the sound, because of the feeling, and because you just want to play and jam. And I think it's important to just get people playing and just get people jamming. So that's kind of how I like to think about some of the exercises and lessons that I'm going to share on this channel. The first thing I typically have people do is a very simple exercise that I call playing the dots. Let me show you how it works. I like to start people by playing this string, the highest pitched string on the bass, the thinnest string on the bass, which we call the G string. I'm not really sure why I start here. It just feels right to me. And what I like to do is I like to say, check this out. I want you to play the open G string. Just play it, however. Doesn't matter how many times or in what way, just kind of play it and just sit in that sound and get comfortable with that sound. And then I want you to find the first dot on your bass. This is at the 3rd fret. And if you want to get geeky, and I like geeky, that's the note B flat. Then I move to the next dot, which is at the 5th fret. And then to the next dot, which is at the 7th fret. And then another dot at the 9th fret. That's the note E. The note names don't really matter right now. And then I get to the 12th fret. And this one is where I stop because the 12th fret divides the string in half. If the open string is the note G, the 12th fret gives me the octave of that. It's also the note G. So it's like a higher pitched version of the open string. And all I want you to do in the first, stages, you just get your bass, is just get comfortable playing the dots along with the open string. And it doesn't matter how many times you hold them or how many times you play them. It doesn't matter how many times, or if you just play it once. It doesn't matter what finger you use on your left hand, not for now. Although I do encourage you to use different fingers. I think that's kind of like, you don't want to get super hung up on just using one finger. But you want to get comfortable. So what feels comfortable to you? And then once you get comfortable, try something else and try to get that comfortable too. You can toggle between notes. And I think that what is happening is two things. One is that you're kind of mapping the brain onto your... One is that you're kind of mapping the bass onto your neurology in a way. And you're hearing the span of notes on that one string. The other thing that's happening is that you're just starting to move around the bass, which is really good because if you watch a lot of your favorite bass players, they move around the bass. You know, like we don't often just sit in one area of the bass. We can. And when we do, it's typically for a reason, and there's nothing wrong with it. But we often move around. The next thing I want to do once I'm comfortable with the G string is I want to get comfortable with the next string, the D string. And one thing I want to mention real quick while I'm here mentally is that there's nothing wrong with those dots up here. They're good too. So feel free to explore. You paid for the whole bass. You might as well explore it. And then you want to move down to the A string. And I know I made a point earlier about stopping at the 12th fret, but that was just to kind of show you that that was the halfway point, and then, you know, I didn't really exactly finish my thought, which happens. So, the other thing I want to say is that as I begin playing these notes, the same part of my brain that would be singing is trying to get inside of those notes, if that makes sense. I'm not a great singer, and I don't sing very well, and I certainly do not sing professionally. But we've all observed great singers, so you can kind of imagine what it's like to be a singer. And for me, the bass is my voice, you know? So when I'm playing on the A string, I'm not necessarily going to sing the note out loud, although I could, to kind of help myself get used to it. But in my imagination, I'm kind of singing those notes. Like, I'm kind of like, doom, 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 doom. You know what I mean? Doom, 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 doom. Something like that. Okay, once I get comfortable with the A string, I'm going to move down to the low E. Now the low E, oh yeah, this is why I started playing bass. I love that feeling. I love that sound. I love the richness. I love just moving around on that bass. I love moving around. I love just moving around on that string. That's what I meant to say. So, once you get comfortable with just moving around the strings and playing the dots on each string, well, now I've got another level for the exercise for you. I put together a little play-along track. And the play along track has drums on it, so I have something rhythmically to bite on, and it also has keyboard on it, so I have something harmonically to sit in. This is really, really important because the bass, most of the time, is a contextual instrument. And what I mean by that is that when we think about the bass, most of the time it's in the context of a band or of a song or of a group, of an ensemble. And although the bass sounds amazing by itself, we really want to get comfortable playing with other people. That's what we're trying to do. That is the goal as a bass player, is to play with another human being or with other human beings. So I got this little play along track. Let me show you how it works. So when the music starts playing, I'm going to listen for the drum count in, and then I'm going to play on the G string. So we just got to wait for the music to start playing. Have a plan. I got no specific aim. Not yet. I'm just trying to play. Just feel the drums. Okay, now I get another count in. I'm going to go to the D string. Here we go. Trying to map the bass onto my mind and just experiment. Listen and react. Okay, now I'm going to go to the A string. Here we go. It's okay if you make a mistake. Right now it's okay if what you play doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter. Just get your body moving. Just get your mind. Why does one note make more sense than the other? Or does one note make more sense than the other? Don't forget about the open string. Okay, so now that I'm starting to get comfortable, when I move to the E string, maybe I can make a little bit more sense. But if it doesn't make sense right now, it's not a priority. Part of it is just physical, where you're like just getting comfortable aiming and placing. Don't forget to sing. So to speak, singing. Awesome. So that's basically the exercise. Now, I've bounced these out or bounced out the play along tracks. I've got a link to SoundCloud where you can just go on there and play along with these. I've also included links to each individual string. So there's a track for the G string, a track for the D string, a track for the A string, and a track for the low E string, where you can just loop those and just stay on one string, or you can try to go through the whole exercise like I just did. I hope this is helpful, and I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, if you're starting out as a bass player, what questions do you have? What things are bothering you? And then if you go through this exercise and you go through this lesson, what's helpful? What's still a mystery? Is there something that you're like, well, I wish you would have addressed this, or I wish you would have addressed that? My goal is to just try to put out one of these at least every week this year, and see if I can build up a little bit of a library, see if I can just build up my comfort level, because I don't really know what I'm doing here on this platform. So I've got to suss some stuff out and get my head wrapped around it. Any feedback is much appreciated. If you want to reach out to me, you can just reach out to me. I guess you can comment on the video, reach out to me that way. And if I can be helpful in any way, I'm always down to try to do that to the best of my ability. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Happy bass playing to you, and I'll see you on the next video.